everyone, buckle up because today's topic is a heavy one, the impact of conflict on development. And let me tell you, this isn't just about the dramatic images we see on the news. The consequences of conflict run deep and wide, affecting entire societies and generations to come. The human cost, lives lost and shattered. Let's start with the most obvious impact, the loss of human life. Wars, civil conflicts, and other forms of violence claimed countless lives, leaving families shattered and communities traumatized. But the human cost goes far beyond the death's toll. Displacement. Conflict often forces people to flee their homes, creating massive refugee crises and internally displaced populations. Physical and psychological trauma. Survivors of conflict can suffer from physical injuries, disabilities, and deep psychological scars that may last a lifetime. Loss of livelihoods. Conflict destroys jobs, businesses, and infrastructure, leaving people without a way to support themselves and their families. Breakdown of social structures. Conflict can disrupt social norms, erode trust, and fuel cycles of violence and revenge. The economic toll. Development in reverse. Conflict is not just a humanitarian disaster, it is also an economic one. It sets back development progress by years, even decades. Destruction of infrastructure. Roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, and other essential infrastructure are often destroyed or damaged, hindering economic activity and access to basic services. Disruption of trade and investment. Conflict creates instability and uncertainty, discouraging foreign investment and disrupting trade flows. Loss of human capital. Conflict kills or displaces skilled workers, professionals, and entrepreneurs, depriving societies of their talents and expertise. Increased military spending. Governments often divert resources from development priorities to fund military operations, leaving less money for education, healthcare, and other essential services. The vicious cycle, conflict and poverty. Conflict and poverty are deeply intertwined. Poverty can create the conditions for conflict, while conflict exacerbates poverty, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. Increased vulnerability. Impoverished communities are more vulnerable to conflict as they lack resources and resilience to cope with shocks and stresses. Resource competition. Scarcity of resources such as land, water, or minerals can fuel conflict, especially in regions with weak governance and institutions. Inequality and grievance. Inequality and a sense of injustice can drive conflict as marginalized groups feel excluded and voiceless. Breaking the cycle, a path to peace and prosperity. While the impact of conflict is devastating, it's more important to remember that it's not inevitable. By addressing the root causes of conflict, investing in peace building and conflict prevention, and supporting post-conflict reconstruction, we can break the cycle of violence and build a more peaceful and prosperous world. Your role in building a more peaceful world. As future development professionals, you have a critical role to play in preventing and mitigating the impact of conflict. Understanding. Learn about the root causes of conflict, the dynamics of conflict escalation, and the strategies for peace building and conflict resolution. Promoting dialogue and reconciliation. Support initiatives that promote dialogue between conflicting parties, foster reconciliation, and build trust. Advocating for peace. Raise your voice against violence, promote peaceful solutions to disputes, and support policies that prioritize conflict prevention and peace building. Remember, peace is not just the absence of war, it's the presence of justice, equality, and opportunity. By working together, we can create a world where everyone can live in peace and reach their full potential.